What is going on, beautiful people of the world? My name is Garrett Wolf, and I am the host of the #1 podcast for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs. I've built my body over the last 8 years, and in the last 3 years, I've helped hundreds of online clients shred unwanted fat and embody the best version of themselves. Now, let's jump right into today's show. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Alpha Movement Podcast. This is the #1 show for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, all without giving up the most enjoyable aspects of their life. In today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about how progress is just directly outside of your comfort zone, all right? If you guys enjoy what I have to say during this episode, or you take some value out of today's podcast, then would you please screenshot my face, share it to Instagram stories, tag me at _Garrett Wolf, and I will reshare it to my story and send you a free gift. Other than that, guys, I want to talk to you guys about how progress lies or resides. I was trying to figure out the best way to say this. I think the best way to say this is progress resides directly outside of your comfort zone, right? And I talk about this all the time. I talk about this with my clients. I talk about this in the Alpha Movement Academy. I talk about this in my Teachable course. I talk about this on my Instagram all the time. I'm talking about this idea because it actually is one of the most important ideas when it comes to entrepreneurship and when it comes to not just growing yourself, but also growing your business and growing your fitness, growing your everything. It really is like the key determining factor in whether or not you're growing or whether or not you're shrinking, right? Because I believe you're either moving forward or you're moving backward. There really is no standing still, because when you're standing still, the rest of the world is still moving, which means you're going backward, right? It's kind of like traveling back in time, if you will. Not exactly, but you guys get the point. You know what I mean, right? So when it comes to entrepreneurship, I think it's a direct reflection of somebody's mindset, right? Just how your body is a direct reflection of your mindset, just how your business is a direct reflection of your mindset, right? Because nothing happens inside of a business without taking risk. Nothing happens to your body without taking risk, without going through hardship, without going through new experiences and new challenges. And so I want to talk to you guys today about a risk that I had to take this morning and a risk that I'm constantly taking on myself, as if my life wasn't already risky enough, right? Because of the fitness competition coming up, because of the multiple businesses that I'm running by myself, I decided to add one more thing onto the list and one more risky situation where I had to go outside of my comfort zone once again. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that. And if you didn't notice, this podcast is actually not live. Usually I go live every single day on Instagram and record the podcast, but today, because of this risk, I'm now doing the podcast at 5:30 p.m. Usually I do it at 11 a.m. in the morning, but today, and that's EST if you guys were wondering, Eastern Standard Time. But today I woke up a little bit late because yesterday I hit a wall of absolute burnout. I was fucking going through a lot of anxiety. I was panicking a lot. I just hit a wall, literal brick wall of absolute burnout because honestly just a lot of stuff was happening. Like, I was trying to get in on this NFT project. This is one of the things that caused me a lot of stress. I was trying to get in on this NFT project called Tykes. It's digital real estate, NFTs. It has to do with all that stuff. It was minted by Ryan Pineda. He's the one who came up with it. Really love that guy. He's a 6 to 7, I think he's a 7 to 8 figure actually CEO entrepreneur. He owns like 7 companies. He does e-commerce, house flipping, real estate investing, all kinds of crazy stuff. He does coaching, consulting. I don't know how the man has time to do all those things, but I've been listening to a ton of his podcasts recently. I've been listening to him talk. I've been listening to some of his philosophies. I took his course in like 1 to 2 days. It took me like 12 hours to go through this course, and I've just been learning a lot about him. So I wanted to invest in this NFT, but I ran into a lot of Coinbase troubles because like my wallet extension, and I don't know if you guys know anything about NFTs, but trying to get my Coinbase wallet set up with my Ethereum that was in Coinbase is just like impossible. Like, it couldn't work because I lost the authenticator key and like all this bullshit. Like, I just couldn't do it, right? So this caused me a lot of stress because I literally watched this project go from like zero point 0.4 ETH. Now it's all the way up to like 1.4 ETH. So that would have been a huge opportunity for me to like triple my money right away. And I knew it would be because this guy, everything he does, he's ultra successful. And so like it would have been a really quick way to make like $10,000-$20,000. And I literally watched it happen before my very eyes, and I couldn't do anything about it because you can't buy it with credit card. At least you can't with my credit card, the bank that I use. And another fucking hardship that I had to witness before my very eyes. And I couldn't get the Ethereum that I actually already own into my account because of all these restrictions, and then my account got locked. And dude, I was just literally watching the price of this NFT go up and up and up, and I was like, I literally could have been one of the people selling it. And just to let you, like, let me give you guys an idea. I have my computer right here actually because of the way I'm set up. Let me just go to the marketplace right now and see what these NFTs are going for now, because they were literally going for yesterday or 2 days ago 0.4 ETH, and now the lowest price is, okay, so it's actually 1 ETH now. So yesterday they were selling for, or 2 days ago, sorry, they were selling for 0.4. Then yesterday they were selling for 1.4. Now they're selling for 1 ETH. Um, Either way, it would have doubled or tripled my money, and I was just really stressing about that. And on top of that, obviously I have to do all of my daily tasks, like posting on all socials, like running my business. I'm currently running an 8-week challenge with 6 clients who I'm training for absolutely free in my program to try to generate some quick testimonials. It's like a quick fat loss, programming where we're kind of getting the most overweight people that we can kind of find, and we're just trying to get them to lose weight as fast as possible. Not as fast as possible, but over the 8-week course, so that I can get a cool before and after picture. And when people hop on these programs for free, it's like they have no buy-in. It's like they have no reason to actually switch. Like, I can give you a plan all I want, but they have no reason to actually kick themselves into gear and hop outside of their comfort zone, which is what we're talking about. Progress is like hit when you go outside of your comfort zone. And when I'm training people for free, when they have no buy-in, they basically have no reason to go outside of their comfort zone, because it's just free. It's just another plan. It's just another coach. And so I can't, I'm trying to figure out ways to incentivize them, ways to motivate them. And I've just been stressing a lot about that. And the point is I reached absolute burnout yesterday, and I ended up watching TV for like 8 hours yesterday, which is something I never ever do. I ended up taking a nap midday. I couldn't work anymore. I couldn't stare at the screen. I still posted, right? So here's the thing, is like, now my burnouts don't look like what they used to. Like, my burnout now is like still posting 6 times on Instagram, still posting 6 times on YouTube Shorts, still getting a podcast episode out. So it's like the burnouts that I hit aren't as bad as they once were. Like, the burnouts used to be, I wouldn't do absolutely anything, and I would just stay completely stagnant, which means I would go backwards, in my opinion. And so I would just kind of, take 2 steps forward and 1 step back type of thing, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But now I'm taking like 10 steps forward every day. And even when I hit this brick wall of absolute burnout, I'm still taking 6, 7 steps that day. So I was still moving forward, which I'm happy about that. That just has to do with positive momentum, though. I mean, literally, it's just because I've been doing it for so long, every single day, over and over and over again, that even when I hit this wall of absolute burnout, I still get some of these daily non-negotiables done, like posting, like making a podcast, like teaching a lesson, like trying to impact just one person's life every single day. And so I hit this absolute burnout yesterday, right? And so I kind of made a vow that today I would fucking move forward as quickly and as drastically as I could. And one of the things I've been thinking about doing, because progress lies right outside your comfort zone, is, again, I wanted to create another marketing strategy, because right now my only strategy is organic. It's just all the content that I post, all the live streams that I do, and all the CTAs that I put on my story telling people that I have a new case study starting, or I'm starting a new this, so I'm starting a new that. It's all organic, right? I don't have any ads. I tried ads in the past. I quickly burned through $5,000 and didn't even make 1 sale, to be frank, with those ads. I got some people in the door, but I couldn't sell them. And if you guys know anything about business, it's really just two things, 2 parts having to do with business, is marketing and sales. And there's a couple strategies when it comes to marketing. You can do organic, or you can do paid ads, right? And then sales, you can do 2 things. One, you can try to sell them yourself on a phone call. You can try to sell them yourself on a webinar, or through a video, or through a DM sequence is a way, or you can hire a sales team to do it for you. And I've explored all these options in the past, of course, but you know, I don't really want to step out of my business just yet, right? And hire a sales team, because I don't think I have really the skills or knowledge to train a sales team. I haven't really, I've been on over hundreds of phone calls, but I haven't really gotten that experience yet to train a whole team of people, or at least I don't think I have it yet, because, I don't really have a script. I don't have a sequence that is known to work like at least 75% of the time. So I don't really want to hire out a sales team. But one thing I do know is how to get leads in the door, because when I did run those ads, I ended up getting hundreds of leads. I just couldn't close them, right? I just couldn't close them myself because it was overwhelming. There was too many people, and I just couldn't close them. But I do know how to get them in the door, right? So I've been wanting to run ads again. I've been wanting to open up another channel of leads, as if my life wasn't hectic enough with the bodybuilding show, with the podcast, with the uploading. But I want to get 30 to 40 people inside of the Alpha Movement Academy. And right right now we only have 6 people inside of the Alpha Movement Academy, right? We have 20 people on Discord, but I want to get 30, 40, 50 clients. I want to get 100, 200 clients. I think that would be crazy. So I can start scaling, so I can start teaming up with social partners, so that I can start hiring other coaches to come into the academy and teach lessons, make it more engaging, and build a culture like a family, a community. Because at the end of the day, that's how you get people to push forward. If they wanted just a calorie macro meal plan, they could just Google that shit, right? There's millions of recipes on TikTok that you can watch in 30 seconds, millions of recipes on Google, on YouTube. You can find recipes to lose weight, right? You can get a calorie value from a calorie calculator, but people hire me at the end of the day to be a coach, to really give them a reason to change their life, to motivate them, to believe in them more than they believe in themselves, so they can borrow the belief that I have in them and use it to their benefit, so that they can actually make progress. And it's about slow micro progress, 1% progress every day, right? And so yesterday after my burnout, I was like, all right, today I'm going to do something fucking crazy. And so when I woke up, I had this long conversation with my dad about what I should potentially do next, right? And so one way that I can move forward is doing ads again, right? And I do run an agency, as you guys know. I'm partnered with an agency who can help me run ads and get my ads up again. So I was, kind of contemplating this. I was thinking about it, but in order to do it, I had to jump through some hoops. I had to get a third credit card, right? I had to open up another credit card so that I can transfer, right, debt that I have on other cards all the way over to one credit card. This is kind of confusing if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but it's called a balance transfer, right? We're trying to get the low interest rate on debt that I can inquire for the lowest interest rate possible. Typically credit cards are like 13 to 16% interest rate, right? Which is pretty freaking high. And if you didn't know, interest rates are through the roof right now. So any kind of credit card that you open up is going to have a higher interest rate than usual right now, because of the recession, because of inflation, because of all this shit, right? This is like financial literacy. This is my jam, right? I love learning about money. I love learning about business. I love learning about finance. And this is one of the obstacles that I had to jump through, was figure out how to lower the interest that I have on my incurring debt, because 13 to 16% is not a good interest rate for debt. So I was looking at cards and I was like, all right, if I can transfer all my debt over to this card, then I'll get the interest rate way lower, right? Maybe there won't even be an interest rate for the first 12, 24 months. Some credit cards do that, right? And then I can use the extra money that I get left over from, having a lower interest rate, so that I can actually buy ads with this agency that I'm going to partner with and have them run my ads for me, and actually build a secondary funnel to get more leads coming in. And so that's kind of the idea that I was pursuing. And so long story short, I mean, the reason I skipped the podcast this morning is because we were talking through it. He kind of mentioned this idea of balance transfers. I was like, let's just do it right now. Like I'm supposed to run the podcast right now, but like it's time to make a big ass move, right? So we applied for a card. It's getting processed right now. And then I decided to even take it one step further, and I filled out the onboarding form for this ad agency, so that they can help me run my ads, so that they can help me structure the ads, structure the pixels, structure the retargeting campaign, because I could learn how to do all this, right? But if there's one thing I don't have to learn about fucking ads, it's fucking time. I don't have time to learn about Facebook ads. I don't have time to sit there looking at the CRM, looking at all the data, studying the pixels, studying the targeting campaigns. I know what goes into it, but I do not want to delegate more of my time sitting on a computer, staring at the screen, trying to like comprehend numbers, right? That's the last thing I want to do. I want to help people. I want to impact people. I want to change people's lives. I want people to message me saying, I lost 10 pounds and I'm super excited and I can't believe I'm finally making progress towards my goals. That's what I want to have. I want to have that kind of life-changing, life-impacting sort of lifestyle, if you will, for myself. And so I'm talking about this idea that progress, lies right outside of your comfort zone. Because if you think it was comfortable for me to just initially get out of burnout, and then the next day literally inquire more debt for myself, more debt on my name, so that I could follow my dreams, follow my ambitions, and try to boost this coaching thing that I've been practicing for the last 3 years, that I've been building a foundation, building a base, posting every day, making myself known, chirping on Instagram, chirping on YouTube, being all over the place. If I really want to blow this up, then I have to keep trying, right? I tried ads once in the past. I got leads, but I couldn't close them. So I'm going to try again. And if you think that this time it was any easier than last time, you'd be mistaken, because it was just as hard, for me to click that fucking onboarding form, fill it all out and make it happen, send it off to the agency, let them know that like, yo, I'm ready to try ads again. And let's do it. I've figured out a strategy to where I can have the financial capability to actually run ads again, so that we can see if maybe this time I can learn a few more skills and get people to come into the academy, so that I can effectively change their life, and so I can finally help them get the results that I know that they want, because I know they're out there, right? People are out there. There's three main pillars of business in the United States, and it's health, wealth, and relationships, right? So it's health, which is fitness, wealth, which is money, and relationships, which is like dating. There's those are the three biggest pillars of those are the three biggest industry pillars in America, right? So if I'm in one of the biggest pillars, ultimately the health pillar, then I can find the people. I can find the people that want to lose weight, because, America is such an obese country, right? These people are everywhere. There are people across the globe that need help losing weight, and I know exactly how to do it, and I know how to coach you through it, and I know the action steps necessary to make you get it done, because I did it myself. I was overweight. I was 195 pounds when I was a kid. I was 14 years old. 195 pounds, and I figured out how to cut it all off, and now I'm stepping on a bodybuilding men's physique stage for the first time in 6 weeks. So I've gone through the path myself. Who better to teach someone how to lose the unwanted fat than someone like me, who was fat themselves and figured out a way to get out of it? And so the point that I'm trying to make, though, is that it was a little bit easier this time, right? Last time I signed up for ads, I was pretty scared. My heart was beating like pretty fast. I was pretty anxious, but today it just felt right. It just felt like the next step. It just felt like the thing I needed to do. And that's because I'm in such, hefty positive momentum. I'm at such a like ramming my head into the fence kind of thing. I don't know what that even means, but I'm in such a state of positive momentum that it makes it so much easier for me to make these kinds of decisions. And ultimately, I think it's good for me to make these kinds of decisions, especially now when I'm young, because there's time to fix it. Worst comes to worst, I acquire a bunch of debt, and then I go work a job for 5, 10 years and I pay off the debt anyway. That's the typical sequence that people who go to college have to do anyway. They go to college, get into $20,000, $50,000 of debt, and then they go work for 5, 10 years, finally pay it off. Some people take 30 years to pay it off, and then they start making money from there. And you'll be fine. It's not like I'm going to die. It's not like I'm going to be homeless, but I always say I'd rather be homeless or a millionaire rather than be somewhere in the middle and be, wondering what it is that I could have accomplished, right? The quote that I came up when I was laying down is, I'd rather face the consequences of a million failures than endure the regret of a million what ifs, right? And that's just something that I always stand by. That's something that I always kind of like to preach and think in my mind. And so when I was looking at this onboarding form, getting ready to run some more ads, because it's not cheap, mind you, it's $2,000 a month. I mean, let's just be upfront about it. It's $2,000 a month for me right now to have someone else run my ads. So if you're wondering how much ads cost, they're fucking crazy expensive. It's like 30 bucks a day, right? 30 bucks a day doesn't seem like a lot, really, or maybe it does, but it comes out to like 2 grand a month. And so if you do that over the year, it's like $25,000, right? So it's almost the price of going to college, right? Going to school. And I dropped out after 1 year of college because I fucking didn't learn anything. And I think I'd learn way more from running Facebook ads than I would from some professor who makes like 50K a year. I mean, let's just be honest. So that's my thinking around it. And so I'm just like, I'm just excited. I'm just happy, and I'm a little bit burnt out right now, as you can see, because I just went for a walk. I have to get like 16,000 steps every day. That's why I'm not very loud right now. That's not kind of why I'm not jumping up and down, kind of screaming at the cameras, because I have to get 15, 16,000 steps a day, because I am still 6 weeks out from my first bodybuilding competition. And I'm getting pretty shredded. It's going really well. I'm not cheating any days. I'm pretty hungry throughout the day, but that's just another barrier, just another thing, just another, hurdle that I have to jump over. And I think the way you do one thing is the way you do everything, right? So one thing that I keep finding true in my life is that the more things that I do, the more things I'm able to do, or the more things I'm capable of doing, which seems like, no shit. It's like a no-brainer. The more things you do, the more things you'll know how to do, frankly. But a lot of people, they stay in this complacent state. They just stay the same. They stay stagnant. They don't do anything new. And then they wonder, like, how does this guy do this? Or how does this person do this? And I really want to know how to do this. And the fact of the matter is you just have to do it, because progress resides right outside of your comfort zone. So if you want to do something and you're scared to do it, you should fucking do it. When you feel that fear response, that kind of anxiety, heart beating, anxious response, you should just go for it. You should just try it and see what happens, because I guarantee you the crazy reality that you make up in your head is going to be like a lot worse than the reality that'll actually happen if you just pursue your goal and your dream and your vision right off the gate and see what happens. It's going to be a lot cooler to do it that way than it's going to be to just get stuck in analysis paralysis and overthink it. And that's really what anxiety is at the end of the day. It's just analysis paralysis. It's just overthinking over and over and over again about different kind of scenarios that might happen that don't serve you. And so when you're feeling that fear response, it's kind of just an evolutionary tick. You should kind of remind yourself, when you feel this fear response, it means go, right? This fear response means go. I've retrained my brain to have this fear response mean go, which again, I was staring at the ads onboarding form with the price tag at the top, $2,000, right? And I was just thinking about it. I was like, and then one final question went in my head, is like, my heart was beating a little bit, but not as much, right? Not as much as last time, just a little bit. But then I was just thinking, I was like, is this the best choice for me? I was like, yes, I think so. Then I took a deep breath and then I clicked it. Boom, done. It was way easier than it was last time. And now I'm going to learn a whole lot more about myself. I'm going to learn a whole lot more about my business. And it's all because I was courageous enough to take that step forward. And so if you're somebody who's fearful about something, maybe you're scared to go to the gym, maybe you're scared to go for a walk, maybe you're scared to go for a run, maybe you're scared to change your diet, maybe you're scared of vegetables. I was too for a long time. And all it is just eat one thing of broccoli a day, or just walk outside for 5 minutes at first, then 10 minutes the next day, or just go for a run that lasts literally 2 minutes, or just go to the gym for 20 minutes if you can, or just go to the parking lot. It's like whatever you can do to break your goal into smaller action steps is going to make it that much easier to take that next step, because the first step is always going to be the hardest. If you can just take the first step, then I promise you can take the next steps. And that's just something that I've found true in my life, and hopefully you can find true in yours as well. All right, guys. So I just wanted to talk about that. I just wanted to remind you that fear is, it's an evolutionary response telling you to go, because what it used to mean is that you're going to die, but no longer are you in danger of death. So now it means you need to go, because if you don't, you're going to fear that thing for the rest of your life. And I don't know about you guys, but the emotion fear is not very fun to experience. So retrain your brain to know that every time you feel fear, it just means go. Fear, go. I'm scared of this, time to do it, right? I'm scared of this, time to do it. Time to break that barrier, time to make some progress, time to take that next step, because progress resides right outside of the circle of comfortability. All right, guys. So that brings us to the end of today's podcast. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, make sure to screenshot my face, share it to your Instagram stories, tag me at _Garrett Wolf, and I will reshare it to my story and send you guys a free gift. Other than that, it has been your boy Garrett Wolf, and I will see you all in tomorrow's podcast episode. Peace, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hopefully you got some value. If you did get value and you want to learn a little bit more about how you can go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, just head over to my Instagram at _Garrett Wolf, DM me the word six-pack, and I'll reach out to you and see if I can help. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace.